3. Oh, can't do this one at all. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special Halloween episode of Faces in FinOps Podcast powered by ProsperOps. I'm your spooky host, Jon Myer. Faces in FinOps Podcast is about highlighting thought leaders in the cloud financial management space and insights on how they're making an impact not only within their organization, but within the broader FinOps community. And I have a special co-host today, ProsperBOT, who is a FinOps certified cloud cost optimization and financial management expert with over 30 years of combined experience. Please join me in welcoming ProsperBOT. Thanks, ProsperBOT. Today's Faces in FinOps topic is the spooky tales of when manual commitment management goes wrong. And our guest today is Matt Stellpflug, who's a senior FinOps specialist at ProsperOps. Please join me in welcoming Matt to the show. Matt, thanks for joining me.
Hey, John. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Or an educator in prospect calls, because ProsperOps methodology is very unique in the marketplace, with focusing on more of like the convertible RI versus standard RIs, for example, is one differentiator among several. And most of the sales cycle is really about education. And so I serve as an expert and sit in those prospect calls and educate and get people up to speed on what's actually possible and kind of demystify some preconceived notions about AWS discount vehicles.
Matt, is it sometimes a little bit of a gun shy to actually go ahead and commit and utilize those savings plans so they're under committed to it and they're leaving a bunch of money on the table? And because, obviously you've got to commit for a certain period of time, almost like the traditional on-premise where I'm looking at, committing to my infrastructure over like 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think anyone, whether it's engineering doing the purchase execution or procurement or finance, nobody wants to be in the seat that committed to too high of an amount, right? You don't want to be the person that's responsible for literally throwing away money because you optimized, or a common scenario might be we were doing migrations, we were lift and shifting, and we got some stuff wrong, and we thought we were going to spend here, now we're spending here, but we were committed at too high of a level. Tricky situation, and for that reason, yes, absolutely correct. We see people or prospects in these initial conversations with too conservative of commitment, and then let's say you commit at 60, 70%, that means 30 or 40% of your compute is on demand, or the public rate, the most you can possibly pay.
Okay, Matt, I didn't even know all that. Let me ask you about the RIs and that you cannot resell them within the first or last month. Does that go for the standard 1 year and 3 year commitments?
Yeah, both 1 and 3 year commitments, the first and last 30 days of those 1 or 3 year terms, you cannot list them for sale. They are yours.
So if you buy a 1 year, you really only have 10 months. In 10 months, you could potentially be sitting on this RI that you're no longer using because your engineering and architecture changed because you didn't look into the entire FinOps and the business's best practices for cost optimization around the architecture. You said, I'm going to buy it. And then you implemented FinOps, and now all of a sudden you're stuck with these.
Yep, that's the risk. You got it. ProsperBOT knows what we're talking about too.
ProsperOps, do you have a preference between RIs or savings plans? Do you like CRIs?
In terms of risk after savings plan, the standard RI would be the next most risky. And the reasons for that are pretty straightforward. So there's rigid rules around standard RI. So they do have disposability via the RI marketplace. However, the rules of that marketplace dictate that for the first 30 days and the last 30 days of your commitment term, so that's again 1 or 3 years, you cannot list that RI for sale in the marketplace. So there's sort of these bookends of rigidity with a standard RI. So let's say I provision something, I want to buy an RI to match it. And then let's say that thing changes in that first month. I cannot sell that RI on the marketplace to match that new engineering reality. So I'm stuck for that 30 days in the last 30 days. Other restrictions around standard RIs make them risky as well. So the standard RI marketplace it does offer liquidity, number one, you've got to have something that someone else wants to buy. You can't just make it disappear in the marketplace. Literally, another party has to purchase it. With convertible RIs, I can cover all the way up almost into the very high 90s, depending on volatility. But let's say I can cover, pretty consistently like at 95% with a convertible RI because of their flexibility, because I can modify them as often as I want to match my new workloads. So if I change everything to Graviton or change everything to AMD or whatever it is, I want to take advantage of a new instance family that AWS released, right? I can literally just change my workloads and then modify my RIs at the same point. Now, this is hard to manage, but again, an autonomous solution like ProsperOps solves that problem for you. That is the one catch with RIs, I feel. They're hard to manage at scale. Imagine you've got thousands of instances and you make changes to even a fraction of those. Now you've got to change the same number of RIs to suit those new changes, right? So this is the challenge of it. But again, a platform like ProsperOps delivers autonomous savings and matches those RIs to the engineering realities around the clock.
ProsperBOT, do you want to ask a follow-up question here to Matt? I think he says cheers in his own little way. Well, Matt, thank you so much for joining. This has been an awesome episode and a spooky tales of when manual commitment management go wrong. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you kindly. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. This has been another awesome episode, and in fact, a spooky episode around Faces in FinOps, powered by our good friends at ProsperOps. I'd like to thank our co-host, ProsperBOT. ProsperBOT, thank you for joining us. And be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notify, because guess what? We're out of here.
Happy Halloween!